In this series, we're diving deep into How to Succeed by Orison Swett Marden, a classic that helped launch the personal development movement more than a century ago. Each episode unpacks its big ideas and brings them into focus for today's high-performance entrepreneurs, leaders, and builders. If you're ready to lead with clarity, grow with intention, and ground your ambition in principles that last, make sure to subscribe. Let's get into it.
Welcome back to The Deep Dive. We're here again, plunging into some timeless wisdom and hopefully surfacing with insights you can actually use today.
That's the plan.
Today, we're carrying on with our journey through Orison Swett Marden's classic, How to Succeed. It's foundational stuff.
Absolutely. And for this deep dive, we're hitting chapter 2. The title alone is pretty gold. Seize your opportunity.
It really is. Sets the tone immediately.
And our mission really is to unpack what Marden meant by that way back then and figure out how these ideas about opportunity actually work for us now.
Right, because the language can feel a bit dated, but the core ideas, we think they still pack a punch. We want to translate that for modern life.
Exactly. Find those nuggets of wisdom that are still, wise, even if they're wrapped in 19th century phrasing.
Precisely. And we were sort of tackling this big question, one I bet resonates with a lot of you listening. Have you ever felt like opportunities just, slipped past you?
Or you see someone else succeed and wonder, how do they do that? Why them and not me?
Yeah, exactly that feeling. If you've ever felt that little pang of regret over a missed chance or just wondered how to get better at spotting and grabbing opportunities, well, this deep dive is definitely for you.
We're aiming to shine a light on these timeless lessons, get past the old language, and see how you can genuinely benefit from the deep psychology and practical advice Marden offers.
Okay, let's dive headfirst into it then. Chapter 2, Seize Your Opportunity. So like I said, Marden grabs you right away. He starts with these really poetic epigraphs. The first one is, "The blowing winds are but our servants when we hoist a sail."
Powerful image.
Isn't it? And then Helen Hunt Jackson adds, "Who waits until the wind shall silent keep will have no time to reap." It immediately signals this isn't about just sitting back and waiting, right?
Absolutely not. And that framing is just so critical for understanding Marden's whole viewpoint here. When he uses the word opportunity, he's not really talking about random luck, not just something fortunate falling from the sky.
Something more active?
Much more active. He's constantly hammering home this idea of preparedness, being ready. It's less about waiting for the perfect thing to land in your lap and way more about actively, positioning yourself, getting ready to act.
Okay, positioning yourself.
Yeah.
And you mentioned the language. We should probably address that up front. He uses man and his a lot.
Yeah, it's typical of the era, obviously, but it's really important to read past that. When Marden says man, he's talking about the individual, anyone. These principles he's discussing, they're meant to be universal. They cut across gender, background, time. It's about human potential, full stop.
Good clarification. So It's not about being handed something. It's about having that sail ready.
Yeah.
Which leads right into that Disraeli quote Marden highlights.
Oh yeah, the Disraeli one is key.
"The secret of success in life is for a man to be ready for his opportunity when it comes." That phrase, "to be ready," it feels like it holds a lot of weight.
It really does. And thinking about what ready means today in our world, it's huge. It's multifaceted. It's not just knowing stuff, it's how you are.
Okay, unpack that. What does ready look like now?
Well, first, there's skill acquisition, right? Are you always learning, updating your skills, building your toolbox? Then knowledge gathering, staying informed, not just in your niche, but broadly. Understanding trends.
Keeping your eyes open.
Exactly. But maybe the biggest piece is mental preparedness. It's not just hoping for the best. It's cultivating a mindset where you can actually recognize an opportunity as an opportunity when it shows up.
How do you do that? How do you train your brain for that?
It's about actively looking for patterns, maybe patterns of unmet need or places where things aren't working efficiently. Psychologically, it means fighting, confirmation bias, where we only see things that confirm what we already think.
Right, we filter things out.
We do. So instead, you cultivate what some call a beginner's mind. Or maybe a problem seeker's eye, looking at familiar stuff like it's new, asking, what's broken here? What's annoying? What's missing? It turns passive looking into active seeing. That's totally different from just waiting around hoping success falls on you without the groundwork.
That's a powerful shift. Not just knowing things, but actively thinking differently about the world. So practically, how does this apply to, say, making a career change or dealing with new tech? Or even just personal growth? Things are moving so fast. How do you prepare for an opportunity you don't even know exists yet?
Great question. You prepare by building foundational strengths and resilience. If you're thinking career change, you don't just wait for the perfect job ad. You're working on transferable skills, communication, problem solving, adaptability. You're building your network, you're understanding market shifts. Maybe you're doing side projects to test the water.
Laying the groundwork.
Precisely. For new tech, readiness means being curious, willing to experiment, not afraid to fail a bit. It's about building this strong internal framework, your skills, your knowledge, your connections, how adaptable you are. So when that unexpected opening or challenge or that new tech wave hits, you actually have the capacity to step up.
So you're not trying to predict the future exactly.
No, not at all. You're just making sure you're strong enough, skilled enough, agile enough to grab whatever good opportunity comes along that fits your general direction.
Okay, that makes sense. Which leads us to another pairing. Marden uses Helen Hunt Jackson's poem again about waiting for perfect conditions versus Carlyle. Carlyle's line is powerful. Our grand business is not to see what lies dimly at a distance, but to do what lies clearly at hand.
Yes, that's such a direct hit against procrastination and perfectionism, isn't it?
Definitely. It's a warning against letting the perfect stop you from doing anything good.
Absolutely. Carlyle nails the danger of perfectionism and what we now call analysis paralysis, right? That feeling of being so overwhelmed by options or data that you just freeze, you can't move. You're waiting for this perfect clarity that honestly almost never arrives.
We've all been there.
We have, especially today. With information overload, people get stuck waiting for the ideal moment, the perfect job, the perfect market conditions to start that business, all the stars aligning before they chase a personal goal. Marden, through Carlyle, is basically shouting, act now. Use what you have right now.
Don't wait.
Don't wait. This connects directly to modern ideas like iteration or the minimum viable product, the MVP in business. You put out a basic version, you learn from real feedback, you adjust, you improve. Start small, learn, grow. You don't need the whole map planned out. Just take the first step with what's right in front of you. That's where the action is.
That's so crucial for anyone feeling swamped by big goals. And then Marden brings in Beecher. Beecher talks about this kind of incremental success. Sounds a bit mystical, maybe. Do the best you can where you are, and when that is accomplished, God will open a door for you.
Right, and a voice will call, come up hither into a higher sphere. It sounds mystical, but I agree, the interpretation is much more practical.
Yeah, what's the practical take?
Well, when Beecher says God will open a door, I think it's a metaphor. It's not necessarily literal divine intervention. It's more like natural progression, the logical outcome of consistently doing excellent work right where you are.
Okay, so it's cause and effect.
Exactly. Marden really emphasizes mastering your current responsibilities, whatever they seem like. The insight is, if you consistently excel, if you show commitment and skill in your current role, even if it feels basic or not challenging enough, you naturally build a reputation. You gain skills, you become visible, people notice.
And that leads to better things.
It does. That's how promotions often happen, how you get strong recommendations, how you build a solid professional foundation. Your excellence kind of creates its own momentum, its own gravity.
So it's about earning the next step by nailing the current one. But what does doing your best where you are actually look like today? Especially with remote work, the gig economy. The ladder isn't always straight up anymore.
That's a really important adaptation. In remote or gig work, doing your best looks like a few key things. Delivering top quality work consistently, being super proactive in communication, even if it's async, always looking for ways to add value beyond just the basic contractor job spec.
Going the extra mile, even from afar.
Totally. It could be taking initiative on something unassigned but helpful, learning a new tool that makes the team better. In the gig world, it's building that amazing reputation, getting great testimonials, proactively solving client problems. That naturally brings more work, better projects, a stronger brand. Your sphere might expand outwards, more clients, new ventures, not just upwards in one company. But the core idea holds. Your demonstrable excellence is what opens the next door.
This flows really well into Marden's next big point, the power of perception and, crucially, promptness. He uses some amazing stories here. Let's start with young Ulysses S. Grant.
Ah, the butter story. Classic.
Right. His mom needs butter, he overhears a letter being read about someone failing out of West Point, and bang, he runs straight to the congressman and gets himself an appointment. It seems almost accidental.
It does seem like luck on the surface, but Marden uses it to show it's way more than that.
Right.
Let's break it down, because Grant's success there had layers. First, observation. He didn't just hear noise, he was listening. really listening for meaning. Lots of kids would have tuned that out.
Sure.
But Grant somehow connected that random bit of info to a hidden ambition. Second, promptness. He didn't dither. He got the butter, took it home, and Marden emphasizes, without waiting for breakfast, ran to the office. Immediate action. Opportunity often has a short fuse, right?
It vanishes quickly.
It can. And third, boldness. Initiative. He asked for what he wanted, point blank, even when the congressman initially brushed him off. He persisted.
And Marden makes this brilliant point. Grant himself kind of joked later that it was the butter shortage that made him president.
Yeah.
But Marden corrects him.
He does. Marden says, no, it was his own shrewdness to see the chance and the promptness to seize it that urged him upward. That's the real lesson. The butter was just the setting.
The circumstance.
Yeah, exactly. The butter shortage just put him in the room to hear the news. The real magic, the shrewdness, was Grant connecting the dots and acting instantly, without overthinking. It shows how opportunities often pop up indirectly, hidden in everyday stuff. They rarely come with a big sign saying, opportunity here.
You have to have your eyes open and be ready to move.
Precisely. Requires an observant mind and the guts to act fast.
Okay, so if it's about cultivating this shrewdness and promptness, how do we actually do that, especially now, with constant distractions, endless information? How do we notice the opportunities we might be missing just in our daily grind?
Fundamentally, it starts with being more present, more mindful. In an age of digital distraction, just truly paying attention is like a superpower. It means active listening in conversations, not just waiting to talk, but really hearing what's said and maybe what's not said.
Picking up on the subtext.
Exactly. Noticing cues in meetings and community chats, even just casual talk. Think about all the complaints you hear, the inefficiencies you see at work, the unmet needs around you. Those aren't just annoyances, they're potential opportunities in disguise.
Reframing complaints as opportunities. I like that.
And for promptness, it's about fighting inertia. Taking that first small step right away when an idea hits or a door creaks open. Don't let it sit there until it feels too big or too late. It's keeping that sail hoisted, like Marden said, ready.
That idea of opportunity being fleeting comes up again with that Roman cardinal quote Marden uses. It's quite vivid.
Oh, the fortune quote. Yeah, that's a strong one.
There is nobody whom fortune does not visit once in his life, but when she finds he is not ready to receive her, she goes into the door and out through the window.
Yeah.
Fortune is like this impatient visitor.
It's such a great image, isn't it? It captures the fragile, transient nature of opportunity perfectly. The cardinal, or Marden channeling him, portrays fortune almost like a person active, but very quick to leave if you're not prepared.
If you're not ready to welcome her in.
Right. The contrast is stark. Be ready to receive and you benefit. Be careless, slow, unobservant, lazy, and poof, she's gone. Out the window. And this applies so well to today's world. Think about online trends, new platforms, timely collaborations. They pop up and vanish fast.
They don't hang around waiting for you to make up your mind.
Exactly. If you see a new tool, a niche market opening, a partnership chance, and you hesitate, someone else, one of those sharp fellows Marden mentions, they detect it instantly and catch it when on the wing.
Catch it when on the wing. Great phrase. So we need to develop this sort of opportunity radar, like a sixth sense for potential. How do we actively train that radar? What can we do day to day?
You train it by being deeply engaged, internally and externally. Practice active listening, hear the context, the unspoken needs. Use critical thinking question assumptions. Look for gaps. Find patterns where others see noise. Networking helps, not just for jobs, but for getting different perspectives, hearing about challenges from new angles.
Broadening your view.
Definitely. And stay informed. Read widely. Follow news in and out of your field. Be aware of societal shifts. Engage with diverse media. All these things train your brain to connect the dots, to see possibilities others miss because they're just not looking or not looking deeply enough. Turn your brain into a pattern-spotting, problem-finding engine.
We see this play out perfectly in that story about Moses H. Grinnell and the two clerks. The coat story.
Ah, yes, the coat errand. It's so simple, but so revealing.
Grinnell sends his coat to be delivered. The New York clerk grumbles, "I'm not an errand boy." But the New England clerk jumps up, eager to do it. Such a tiny thing, but Marden makes it pivotal.
It's the perfect example of a micro-opportunity. It shows that big chances often disguise themselves in humble tasks in everyday interactions that seem trivial. Let's break that one down too. First, attitude. The New England clerk showed immediate willingness, initiative, enthusiasm, a service mindset. The New York clerk, resentment, rigid job description thinking.
Huge difference in mindset.
Huge. Second, employer observation. Grinnell saw that difference. Instantly, he recognized the character revealed in that tiny action. That boy is smart, he will work. Small things, especially outside the job spec, reveal a lot about someone's potential and dedication.
And the payoff.
Third, long-term impact. That small act of helpfulness, that readiness. It led to promotions, trust, connections. It built his reputation and set him up for success. It proves that seeds of great success are often sown in their seemingly small, maybe even unpaid moments. How you handle the little things matters.
So for people today, maybe feeling stuck in a role that feels beneath them, or working remotely where the boss isn't watching over their shoulder, what are today's code errands? How do you show that same initiative?
Great question for right now. Today's code errands are about proactive problem solving, going the extra mile without being asked. Remotely, it could be spotting an inefficient process and suggesting a fix before anyone else does.
Taking initiative.
Exactly. Or documenting something helpful for future teammates. Offering to help a colleague who's swamped, even if it's not your job. For a freelancer, maybe delivering more than promised, offering unique insights, being incredibly responsive. It's about building a reputation as indispensable. Someone who doesn't just do the work, but actively finds ways to add value to make things better for everyone. Your digital actions, proactive messages, collaboration, work quality become your modern coat errand, showing your commitment from anywhere.
Okay, let's shift gears a bit. So many of us, I think, fall into the trap of thinking the real opportunities are somewhere else.
Yeah.
A different city, a different field, the grass is always greener idea. Marden tackles this head on.
He really does with that line. It is a sorry day for a young man who cannot see any opportunities where he is, but thinks he can do better somewhere else. It's a direct challenge to that myth of distant fortunes.
It feels very relevant today with everyone talking about moving to tech hubs or chasing the latest global trend.
Totally relevant. That allure of greener pastures, moving to Silicon Valley, chasing AI or crypto or whatever the current hot thing is, Marden pushes back hard. His argument is foundational. Most lasting fortunes, he claims, are found at home or near at hand. How? By meeting common everyday wants.
So look locally versed.
Yes. It counters the idea that huge success needs a massive move or a completely revolutionary idea. It's a call to look inward. At your immediate surroundings, your community, your current skills, your daily observations, that's often where the richest opportunities are hiding. It's a warning against what we might call familiarity biases.
Familiarity bias.
Yeah, overlooking or undervaluing what's right in front of us simply because it's familiar. Marden suggests the real gold isn't always far away. It's often about seeing the ordinary stuff around you with fresh eyes, reevaluating its potential.
And he uses these almost tragic stories to hammer this home. The Brazilian shepherds playing with diamonds, thinking they were just pretty pebbles.
While dreaming of shiny trinkets.
Right. And the Nevada miner selling his incredibly rich gold mine for peanuts, $42, just so he could travel to other, supposedly better mines, only to find nothing. It's heartbreaking irony.
They are heartbreaking and powerful cautionary tales. They teach a few key things. First, just ignorance of value. They literally didn't know what they possessed. They were sitting on fortunes but couldn't see it. Happens all the time.
We have blind spots.
Big ones. Second, they were actively chasing perceived, distant opportunities. The miner looking elsewhere, the shepherds wanting something shiny from afar, while ignoring the real wealth right there. And third, there's that psychological barrier. We often undervalue the familiar, the easily accessible. We think value has to be rare, distant, exotic, so we dismiss the riches in our own backyard.
So for you listening, what diamonds or mines might you be overlooking right now? In your current job, your skills, your network, your community, it feels like we all probably have some.
That's Marden's challenge, isn't it? Maybe you have niche knowledge from a hobby gardening, local history, a specific software that you dismiss as just a hobby, or skills from a boring job, amazing organization, calming angry customers that are actually super valuable elsewhere.
Or maybe it's a persistent problem in your own community that you're uniquely positioned to solve.
Exactly. The diamonds could be in your contact list, your life experiences, the unique perspective you bring, even the stuff you complain about daily. Marden urges us, look closer. Reevaluate what's already around you and inside you.
And it's not just about physical things, but knowledge or the lack of it. That story about Professor Agassiz and the farmer is striking.
The oil story, yeah, that adds another layer.
The farmer sells his rocky, useless land for $200. The new owner finds a great flood of coal oil. And the kicker is, the farmer had been ignorantly tried to drain off the oil, thinking it was just swampy mess.
It perfectly highlights that other dimension: lack of knowledge or research. The farmer wasn't lazy. He was actively trying to fix what he thought was a problem. But he didn't have the geological know-how to see the oil's value. He saw a nuisance. A knowledgeable eye saw a fortune.
So you need to understand your resources.
You do. You need curiosity. You need to research. It also points to impatience. Giving up too soon. Maybe the farmer could have learned about the oil if he'd persisted or investigated more. Many people quit just before they strike gold, literally or figuratively, because they haven't dug deep enough.
This totally applies today. Companies overlooking value in their own data because they don't analyze it. People not seeing needs in their community because they haven't really looked.
Precisely. Or you run a small business but haven't really talked to your customers deeply to find their real pain points. You might be sitting on insights, data, unique skills, but without that curiosity, that research, that geological survey, it just looks like unprofitable rocks. The value is hidden by assumptions or lack of inquiry.
Then Marden gives a great positive example. The guy in Boston with the uncomfortable cane chair. He sees discarded rattan, have an idea, and boom, invents rattan furniture, turns waste into wealth.
Brilliant example. It's Marden's philosophy in action. It's about problem solving. Saw a common need, comfy chairs, connected it to an overlooked resource, waste rattan, and crucially, it wasn't just the idea, it was ingenuity plus industry. He didn't just dream it, he examined the chair, had the insight, and started manufacturing. Action.
Saw it, did it.
Right. It shows that principle. Look for abundant, overlooked, waste resources that can meet a need. That's the heart of so many recycling, upcycling, sustainability businesses today. Turning trash into treasure. It's not just about new things, it's reimagining existing things.
This all seems to boil down to Marden's core entrepreneurial advice. If you want to get rich, study yourself and your own wants. You will find millions of others have the same wants. And focus on prime necessities: clothing, housing, food, comfort, education.
It's his 19th century version of solve a real problem for lots of people. He's saying the most stable businesses meet fundamental human needs and desires. Not just trends, but what people consistently need, value, struggle with.
So, for us today,
how can you apply this? What unmet needs do you see in your community, your industry? What daily inefficiencies bug you? What could be done better, cheaper, easier, kinder? Those are today's prime necessities, waiting for solutions.
And he adds that important ethical layer too, right? About choosing vocations that are helpful, not degrading.
Yes, crucially. He warns against jobs that are purely selfish, that belittle the manhood, blight the affections, shrivels the soul. He says don't touch it. True success, he argues, serves humanity and nurtures your own spirit. It adds a powerful moral filter to seeking opportunity. Your success shouldn't harm others or yourself.
Building right on that idea of solving needs, Marden throws out this concept that feels kind of backwards at first. Want has been the great schoolmaster of the race. Necessity has been the mother of all great inventions. Lack drives progress.
It sounds counterintuitive, especially when we value abundance, but it's incredibly insightful. Think about it. When things are easy, when needs are met, where's the strong push to innovate, to find radical new solutions?
You get comfortable.
Exactly. It's the struggle, the inconvenience, the want, the pain point, that sharp edge of necessity that forces creativity. It makes us resourceful. It focuses the mind intensely on finding a solution. This connects directly to modern business. Identifying and solving customer pain points is often the most powerful driver of successful innovation. Need sparks ingenuity that comfort might leave sleeping.
And he uses such everyday examples. The metal hook for lacing shoes, barber's clippers, the washing machine, even gold fillings for teeth. These aren't moonshots. They're practical fixes for daily annoyances.
That's the point. Each one came from a direct, often personal experience of something not working well. Shoe eyelets failing, cutting hair being slow, laundry being exhausting for an invalid wife, toothaches being agony. They weren't born in high-tech labs. They were practical answers to mundane problems that, once solved, made life better for millions.
So opportunities are hidden in plain sight, in the everyday frustrations.
Absolutely. Marden's showing you don't need a PhD or massive funding to invent something valuable. You need to be observant of common problems and have the drive to fix them.
What's even more amazing is his list of huge inventions from tiny spaces. Ericsson's screw propeller in a bathroom, Harrison's chronometer in a barn, Fitch's steamboat in a church vestry. McCormick's Reaper and a grist mill.
It blows up our assumptions about where innovation happens, doesn't it? Marden is shouting, great things are not exclusively done by men of large means in fancy labs.
It's incredibly encouraging for anyone feeling they lack resources.
Totally. He's saying your greatest resource is your ingenuity, your determination. It's
Yeah.
resourcefulness over resources. Limited tools, space, or money can actually force more creativity, a tougher approach to problem solving. It's about the focused mind, the will to make it work with what you've got.
But crucially, he warns against just being clever for cleverness' sake. Useless ingenuity.
Right. The invention to make smoke go the wrong way up a chimney. Hilarious, but pointless. Or the patent office full of inventions nobody needs.
And the A.T. Stewart story, losing money on buttons and thread nobody wanted, a hard lesson.
It's a vital reality check. Marden draws a sharp line between clever and useful. The smoke invention might be mechanically ingenious, but it solves no problem, it creates one. Those useless patents show what happens when ingenuity isn't tied to a real human need.
It needs the market test.
Exactly. Real opportunity, lasting success, comes from meeting a genuine want or solving a real problem. Not just novelty. We see this today, tech solutions searching for a problem, products that are complex but inconvenient.
A.T. Stewart's rule, never to buy anything which people did not want. Seems so basic, but
It's foundational. Customer centricity, 19th century style. He learned it the hard way. It underlines the absolute need for market research, customer empathy, understanding needs before you invest heavily. Don't fall in love with your idea without checking if anyone else cares. Marden's telling us, start with the want, not the invention.
okay, this next part feels really revolutionary, especially for his time, and maybe even more so today. Marden tackles the no capital excuse head on.
Oh yeah, this is powerful stuff.
He says flat out, don't think you have no chance in life because you have no capital. Most of the rich men of today began poor. But then he drops this bombshell. The chances are you would be ruined if you had capital. What?
It sounds crazy, right? Especially today when everyone's chasing funding. But his point is profound. He argues that unearned capital, money you didn't work for, can actually be a hindrance, a crutch.
A crutch? How so?
Because the process of earning your way, struggling, figuring things out, builds invaluable stuff. Skills, resilience, grit, adaptability, a deep understanding of value. Money you're just given doesn't teach you that. It can make you soft, less resourceful.
So the struggle itself is valuable capital.
In a way, yes. That's why he says you can only use to advantage what has become a part of yourself by your earning it. It has to be internalized. He even throws out that statistic. Not one rich man's son in 10,000 dies rich. It challenges that whole idea that inherited wealth equals lasting success. Often, it seems, it erodes the very drive needed to keep it.
Wow. So relying only on external money, especially unearned, can be a trap. Then he completely flips the script on what capital even means.
This is the most empowering part, I think. He says, God has given every man a capital to start with. We are born rich.
Born rich. How? What's this God-given equipment?
He breaks it down beautifully. Good health, a sound body, good muscles. That's our physical energy, our vitality, the engine, a good head, a good disposition, a good heart. Our minds, our emotions, our character, intellect, positivity, integrity, empathy. 2 good hands with 5 chances on each. Our ability to do, to work, to create, agency, and the marvelous mechanism of his body and mind. Our overall potential to learn, adapt, innovate.
So that's our real capital. It's internal.
Exactly. It's inherent, not external. It tells everyone, no matter their bank account or background, you are already wealthy. Your greatest assets are inside you, universally given. It completely reframes your starting point. It's about self-reliance, your own capabilities.
It takes away the excuse of, I have nothing, because you do have this internal capital. And he really hammers that crutch idea home again.
He does. Money to start with is only a crutch, which, if any misfortune knocks it from under you, would only make your fall all the more certain. Brutal, but clear.
What's the takeaway there?
True resilience comes from inside, from what you've built through effort. If your success rests on your own skills, character, hard-won knowledge, you're less vulnerable when things go wrong because they will.
No.
If you're just propped up by that money crutch and it gets kicked away, you collapse because you never learned to stand on your own. Think of startups built only on VC money with no real core strength. Funding dries up. They vanish. They hadn't built that internal earning muscle.
All right, as we get towards the end here, Marden brings it all back to something absolutely fundamental. Character. He quotes the Boston Herald about a young person starting out in the city.
The first thing they need to do.
Make himself a necessity to the person who employs him. That feels like advice that just never gets old.
Never. It cuts across every job, every era. It's about showing undeniable value, going beyond the job description. Marden adds, whatever he may have been at home, it counts for nothing until he has done something that makes known the quality of the stuff that is in him.
So reputation or potential isn't enough. It's about doing.
It's about performance, tangible contributions. You have to show your quality through your actions, making yourself so valuable, so reliable, so indispensable that your boss or clients think, wow, we really need this person.
And he contrasts this with the person who shirks work, saying the work will eventually shirk him.
Yeah.
But the person who does their best, whether he is paid for it or not, reward follows. This feels like a direct counter to modern quiet quitting ideas.
It really does, doesn't it? Over a century early. He's tapping into how employers perceive things. They're eagerly watching, but they look for qualities of character and service in actual work before they manifest confidence. It's not about being exploited. It's about strategically investing in your future by demonstrating your worth now.
So how does that play out today, especially remotely?
Remotely, you become indispensable by your impact, your problem solving, taking initiative without being asked, anticipating needs, delivering high-quality work consistently, those unpaid efforts, volunteering for a tough project, mentoring someone, fixing a process. That's what gets you noticed. It shows you're a value creator, not just a task doer.
He also talks about the staying qualities that have been inwrought from childhood, these deep character traits.
Yeah, the staying qualities. That's the bedrock. Perseverance, diligence, integrity, discipline, work ethic. These aren't quick skills. They're fundamental virtues. Marden believes lasting success isn't just luck or brilliance. It's the result of consistent character development built over time. Home training, he calls it, those foundational values that translate into professional excellence and resilience. It's about delayed gratification, the long game of character building.
And finally, it's pretty amazing for his time, he explicitly includes women, he says. It is the same with young women. There are seemingly no places for them, but the moment they fill their places worthily, there is room enough for them, and progress is rapid.
It is remarkable given the context. He acknowledges the barriers, seemingly no places, but insists the principle is universal. Demonstrated worthiness creates opportunity, regardless of societal limits or biases.
So focus on what you can control.
Exactly. Prove your value through competence, diligence, character. That becomes your leverage, your way through barriers. For today's diversity efforts, it's a reminder that while we absolutely need systemic change, individual excellence, filling places worthily, remains a powerful force for personal advancement, opening doors even when they seem closed. Your undeniable value speaks volumes. #outro.
Okay, so wrapping up this deep dive into Marden's Seize Your Opportunity. The big takeaway isn't about luck, is it?
Not at all. It's so much more empowering. Opportunity is way less about chance and way more about readiness, keen observation, and that prompt, decisive action.
And realizing your real capital isn't money in the bank, necessarily. It's inside you.
Absolutely. Your character, your ingenuity, your willingness to actually solve problems for people, that's the indestructible wealth Marden's talking about. And remember to look for that gold in your own backyard.
Right. The opportunity is right at hand in your daily life, your current situation, and making yourself indispensable through consistent effort, proactive work, and just strong character. How you show up matters.
So, as we finish up, maybe consider this thought from Marden. If power is lying latent everywhere, waiting for the observant eye to discover it, what familiar challenge or overlooked resource or unmet need in your daily life? What might be your next great opportunity just waiting for you to spot it and seize it?
Yeah, really think about that. And maybe, as a small action step this week, ask yourself, what's a small, seemingly insignificant coat errand I could tackle with real enthusiasm? Just to practice flexing those staying qualities and maybe open a small door.
Go find those opportunities. They are out there, probably closer than you think. Until next time.
Keep diving deep.
Thanks for joining me on this chapter of How to Succeed. Remember, success doesn't start with skills or resources. It starts with who you are when no one's watching. If this episode gave you something to think about, hit that subscribe button and share it with someone who's building themselves into something big. This is Mindset Foundations. I'll see you in the next chapter.